Justin Popovich here, live from my hotel room in Atlanta, Georgia, at the NAMS 11 event, and I'm shaking my head because I just messed up a great interview with a great marketer named Alex Mandossian. Maybe you've heard of him before. I've been following this guy for years, and I got a chance to meet him at the event. I sat down with him, and he agreed to do a video, and he did drop some awesome content for like 13 minutes. I really wanted to share it with you. And I just got back to the room to upload it to YouTube to realize the audio did not record any of our conversation. So I've got this great clip. I'm actually, as I do this video, I'm going to bring it up on screen. You can see us talking and having just a wonderful time together and enjoying each other's company. But really, actually, he dropped some gems of information that now you're not going to get a chance to hear because I messed it up. So I'm sorry about that. I'm going to do my best to attempt to at least summarize some of the stuff he was talking about, although I won't do it as much justice as he did because it's his content. So you can go check him out on his websites for more info. But he gave a great keynote presentation at the event when it opened on Friday. He was the first speaker. I really got some good insights from some of the stuff he talks about. I mean, this guy's been a marketer and in business forever. He's got a ton of experience. So just anything you can pick up from somebody with that much experience is worth it. But in particular, in our video interview together, he covered two specific things. He covered one of his templates or formulas for a three-step process he uses for sales letters or composing a pitch or a proposal. And he also shared some tips on networking. So I won't get into networking tips as much because that he used some examples and some analogies that I would totally butcher. I wouldn't do a good job of those. But the sales proposal type of stuff was pretty tangible, easy to digest stuff that I'm going to, again, try to reattempt to explain to you right now. Hopefully I do at least a decent job. Basically, when creating sales letters or proposals, he suggests sort of a three-step process where if you can communicate these three things, you'll generally do a good job of connecting with your prospective buyers. So he generally asks three questions that are all of a why nature. So the first question he asks is why this? Why this offer? And really he's saying, why is this relevant to me as the buyer, right? And he used the example of the person's not going to buy a steak if they're vegetarian or vegan. So the offer itself has to be relevant for the audience that it's targeted for. So why is this offer that you're promoting right now, why is this relevant to me in my life, my business, and so on? And if you can effectively communicate that first and quickly in your sales copy or your sales videos, or even in a face-to-face proposal, then you have good rapport, you have a good start. The next is why me? Why do you want to buy this particular relevant offer from me as the person selling it versus the other people that may be selling competitive solutions to that? And this comes from your story, this comes from your unique selling proposition, it comes from things that you do differently than anyone else. And so telling your story and why you do what you do, why you have the solution that you have is often the key to getting people to connect with you, and that becomes the reason why they want to buy from you. And then the third and most important step is why now? Why does a person need to take action on your offer now? And he kind of stressed the fact that you can sort of create this. We do this in my business all the time. You can create the urgency to buy now through tactics like having a countdown timer or having an expiring deal in place. And those are specific things. He says they're not bad, they work. But he says it's more important to have a value proposition where the reason they want to invest now is that the long-term impact of not investing is actually going to be worse. So he used the example of once somebody has known him for a while, they realize that the value of his coaching is quite high. So he might have a conversation with somebody and say, well, if I were to work with you every month, how much more money do you think you could make? And let's say they come up with the number $5,000. And if they were to work with Alex for a year, let's say they make 60 grand more, which I'm just throwing these numbers out, but if you've done any kind of advisor-based programs or coaching or consulting, that's a fairly realistic number for certain businesses. So he would have that conversation with the client, and then he would look at the cost to invest in his coaching. It would be significantly less than that. He would basically break it down saying, you need to invest in this now, because if you don't, you could theoretically cost your company X amount of dollars if you don't. And the more you delay this, the more money you're actually preventing yourself from being able to make. So I mean, it's a simple concept, and it does make a lot of sense if the other two parts of the equation are right. If if it's relevant and if you were the right person to solve the problem for them, then they should be taking action right now if what you solve for them is going to get them to their results faster. And by not taking action, it's actually going to hurt them in the long run. So if all those things line up, it should be a successful proposal, really, and there's no reason why the person shouldn't take action on your offer. So that works really well for product sales, services sales, even selling things like he was mentioning, coaching or consulting, that type of stuff. So I'm only doing partial justice here. I was all excited to be able to share a cool interview I did with somebody a marketer who had a big influence on me in my earlier days before I was even an entrepreneur, when I was still an employee, figuring out what it takes to become an entrepreneur. Alex was one of the guys I used to listen to all the time because I feel like he really does a good job with his the way he runs his business and the way he conducts himself, and he's just a great marketer and business person all around. So you didn't get a chance to hear it, I did, but at least this is a little bit of a summary and some of what I've been learning at this event. So I hope that is at least somewhat valuable for you. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask, let me know. I can see if I can get Alex to answer them. Or if you just have any feedback in general, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you soon.